I have a message for you today, and it goes like this: project your voice. Project your voice. This is a very important message, and I'll tell you this: as a speaker, one of the most important components of public speaking, of speaking to a crowd of people, regardless of how big or how small the crowd is, the most important thing is voice projection. You want to make sure that when you throw your voice out, it reaches every single person who is in that room. Whether you are in a big room, a small room, in a boardroom, in a classroom, you want to make sure that when you throw your voice out, it reaches somebody. But I'm not speaking about public speaking. I'm not trying to teach you how to do public speaking. When I talk about projecting your voice, I'm talking about what really matters to you. There are some things that matter to you. There are some things that are really important to you. And so what happens is that so many of us live life in such a way that we take whatever we get. We don't speak up. We haven't learned how to speak up. We lack the confidence to speak up. We are not secure enough to speak up. We feel like we are not in a good place to be the ones who are speaking up on whatever situation, on whatever it is that you think should be different. So my message to you today is project your voice. Learn how to speak up. Let me tell you a little story. A while ago, I had breakfast with these two gentlemen. I was sitting in the middle, one on this side, one on the other side, and one of the gentlemen that I was with ordered breakfast that included avocado. Right? He said, "I want this. It has avocado in it." We all order. The waiter goes away, and when he comes back without the food. But he says to us, "There's no avocado." He speaks to this man. He says to him, "There's no avocado. Can I replace it with something else?" And the man is like, "Yeah, no, that's okay. What can we replace it with?" And while he's trying to do that, the man who's on this side says, "No, we ordered avocado. He wants avocado. What is this about? He wants avocado. So make a plan, my guy." And so this guy, as a waiter, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say because, well, I'm just doing my job and there's no avocado in the back. And off the bat, it might seem like this is very rude. You might seem like a difficult person. You might seem like somebody who is irrational, doesn't understand. But this man sits across and he says to the waiter, "My man, go and speak to your manager. We are in a mall. There's Checkers over there. Ask him for some money. Go buy 6 avocados and come back and make the meal that this man asked for." "No, but I don't know. No. And they went back and forth until this man left. And guess what? The meal came with some avocado. The meal came with some avocado. Now, like I said, it seems like you are harsh. It seems like you don't understand. It seems like you are rude. It seems like you are inconsiderate. It seems like you are irrational. However, what I've learned is that those are the people who get what they want. What I've learned is that those are the people who really change the world. What I've learned is that those are the people who really make a difference. Those are the people who so strongly represent what they actually believe and not just what's given to them. See, the reason I'm saying this is because there are so many of us who are so unsatisfied with what we see around us. However, because somebody came to you and said to you, "Listen, we don't have this right now." Society said, "We don't have this right now. We don't have morality in this way right now, but what we can give you is what we have right now. You can settle for the little that we can give you. You can settle for whatever it is that we can hand over to you and just make peace with it and just be and just live with it." Project your voice. I said, "I want avocados. I'm going to have avocados." I said that I know that that's the right way. And until it's done the right way, I will not settle for anything less than what I came for. I will not settle for anything less than what I believe in. I will not settle for anything less than what I know to be true, regardless of who accepts it, who says it's okay, who says it's cool, who else is okay with it. Regardless of that, doesn't matter to me. I want what I want. I know what is true. I know what is right. I know what is noble, and that's what I will live for, regardless of whether the society has it or not. And if you tell me that it's not there, we'll make a plan. If you tell me that it's not there, we're going to have to make a plan. We're going to have to try to make sure that we get this by any means necessary. We're going to have to make sure that we get to see what it is that we came for. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who thinks what. It doesn't matter whether you have it right now or not. We are going to make sure that we get what we came for. Here's why I say this. There's a scripture in the Bible. Jesus gives this teaching in Matthew 5, and he speaks about the city on a hilltop. Speaks about the city on a hilltop, and he says this in Matthew 5. He says, Matthew 5 from verse 14 and 15, he says this. He says, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." He says, a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and then put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. Let your light shine. Let your light shine regardless of what there is around you, regardless of what is happening. See, there are so many people, so many believers, so many good people who have decided to cover up that light. The light was burning brightly, but it became an inconvenience to everybody else who's around. That light was burning brightly, but it was not comfortable for the people around us. It was not comfortable it wasn't well fitted into the world that we live in right now. It wasn't a good fit for the place where you work, for the kind of society that you live in, for the circle of friends that you keep, for the family that you are in, for the relationship that you are in with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. It wasn't a good fit. And so what I've had to do is I've had to dim this light. I've had to cover up this light. I've had to lower my voice. I've had to try to make sure that I don't speak too loudly. I've had to make sure that whatever I say is just loud enough for myself to hear. I don't want to inconvenience anybody else. Can I just tell you something? We live in a society that understands the importance of projecting your voice. We live in a society that understands the importance of speaking up. A society that understands what happens when you act on something. Let me tell you this. We have what's called cancel culture. Right? We've had what's called cancel culture. We have seen this phenomenon just destroy careers. And you know what that is? That is simply just people who don't agree speaking up. They don't care whether they're right or wrong. They don't care whether they are right or wrong. I don't like that. I don't like you. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like what you did. I don't like how you're living. I don't like what you chose. And so I am going to speak up. And so what ends up happening is that there are so many good people. There are so many upstanding people. There are so many people who are upright, who sit in the corner complaining. You know why? Because you would say nothing. You decided to dim your light when everybody else decided to speak up. You decided to sit in the corner and do nothing about it. And that's why the world looks the way it looks. That's why your society, that's why our society is the way it is right now. If you know what's right, if you know what's noble, if you know what should be done, what should be, you have to speak up. You've got to let your light shine. You've got to be able to let your light shine in wherever you find yourself, whatever it may look like. You have to be able to do that. You cannot betray yourself in the way that so many of us do. You cannot live the rest of your life betraying yourself because you have something to say and you know good and well that it has to be said. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I think I've been too loud. Let me just quiet down a bit. I've been doing too much. Let me just slow down a bit. Let me tell you this. My whole life changed when I decided to project my voice. My whole life changed the day that I decided I have something to say. Now, here's the thing. Let me tell you this. Projecting your voice, before you do that, you've got to know what it is that you have to say. Got to have something to say. So many people who are just loud but have nothing to say. You've got to have something to say. I was thinking about this in terms of social media. You hang around with a lot of social media influencers. The more traction you get on social media, the more you get to meet them, the more you get to interact with them. And I've met so many people who call themselves social media influencers. And some of these people have been people whom I've seen on Instagram. And when you go onto their Instagram, they're influencers, right? And then they call themselves content creators. They call themselves content creators. Let me put it to you this way, friends. Let me explain something. As a generation, we have become so enamored with this idea of having a picture that is pleasing to everybody else, and we think that's the content. That, my friend, is not the content. See, this book right here, this in itself is not the content. It's what's on the inside that is the content. It is what is on the inside. So before you project your voice, what is it that you know needs to be said? What is it that you know should be different? What is it that you know should be better? What is it? See, I'm not telling you to just be loud. I'm not telling you to live your life as an empty can that just makes a whole lot of noise. I'm telling you that whatever you want to call yourself, whether you be a content creator or whether the content matters. Listen, the content matters. The image is really the least of it. The image is the least of it. And so we've got to be a people who can confidently sit there and say, this is not what I want. If this is what I ordered, then this is what I want. What you are telling me right now, what you are giving me right now is not what I ordered. It is not what I came for. I'll finish it off by saying this to you, right? There are so many of us. You know what it is that God has placed inside of you. You know what it is that God has called you to. You know the purpose He has set before you. You know it. You have no doubt about it. However, you have not been able to project your voice. You have not been able to. What you have done time and time again is you have put your light under a bowl. God set your life on fire, right? He set your life on fire, and what you decided to do, you spend the rest of your life trying as hard as possible to extinguish this flame. You try as hard as possible to put this fire out, because no, they won't get it. They won't understand it. The world right now is not that. The world right now is not that. You know, being in the social media space, so much of the world has become digital. And I've heard people many times say this. People have often said, social media is the devil's playground. Friends, social media is only the devil's playground because he comes out to play. He comes out to play, projects his voice. The moment that you decide to say something, the moment that you decide to stand up, the moment that you decide to act, the moment that you decide that good must have a voice, that the voice of good must be projected, that good works must be illuminated, the moment that you decide that it is time to speak up, it is time to act on something, it is time to say something that matters, to do something that matters, when you decide that I can no longer allow this light to be placed under a bowl. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Cannot be. So let your light shine. Project your voice.